Hello class, in this video we want to look at the periodic table and just really the quick basics of the periodic table. So first let's start by looking at one. So here's our table of elements, and what I want you to see here is that this one's color coded based off of date of discovery. And what I want you to see is that we didn't always know all of these elements that exist. Some were discovered later on after the original table was published. And they still fit into the table pretty nicely. And what I want you to see though, here the red ones were known by ancient people, and then you can kind of see here by the list, some of them here in the blue, the nice blue color here, were in 1945. So that all these elements weren't always known to us. The second thing I want you to kind of see here is that it has a particular shape. It's a table. And a natural question to this is why? Why do we have this table? Who put this table together? Why does it have to have this particular shape? It's not like anything else. It's not like in English we have a dictionary, which is just a list of words. We don't have a table of words. We just have a list of words, and it's a dictionary. Same thing in math. We don't have a table of formulas. We just have formulas, and they're presented to us in a list. So what makes the elements so special? Why do they have a table? And that's what we kind of want to look at today. So Dmitri Mendeleev is the person that's credited for discovering this periodic law, and based off the periodic law forming this periodic table. And what he did was he arranged the elements by atomic mass, which we could see, and he also discovered periodic law, which that is the most important part of this. Anybody could list them based off of atomic mass, but he also saw this periodic law. That means that there's a pattern in which the elements follow based off of this, where they sit on his table. Because of this, he was able to predict undiscovered elements, the characteristics of them, where they would be on his table before they were actually discovered. This was one, and still is, one of the greatest discoveries ever in science is this periodic law and being able to put the elements in order on a periodic table. And you'll see why and how powerful this is. So first, the periodic table is organized in groups and in periods. The groups or families are the vertical columns on the periodic table, and there's 18 of them. They go up and down. These are the ones vertical, go up and down. And then you also have periods. Those are the horizontal rows, and there's 7 of those, and they go side to side. And that's how the periodic table is organized, is by groups and by periods. There are also different sections of the periodic table. One are metals, and metals are elements that are good conductors of heat and electricity. They're malleable. That means that they can be bent into shape, hammered into different shapes. Ductile means that they can be turned into a wire, and they form positive ions. When they form ions, they form positive ions. That means that they are losing electrons. We also have nonmetals. These are poor conductors of heat and electricity, and they form negative ions, and they're on the right side of the periodic table. And in between the metals and the nonmetals are the semimetals, also known as the semiconductors or metalloids, and they have characteristics of both metals and nonmetals. And so let's look at the periodic table with these color-coded. And the blue ones are the metals, and you can see that the majority of elements are metals. The yellow are the nonmetals, and then you have this magenta color, that's the semimetals or the metalloids or semiconductors. So this was just the basics of the periodic table. In later videos we're going to look at the different families and also the different trends of the periodic table. But already I want you to see that there is some type of pattern here, an order to the periodic table, where we have metals on this side, nonmetals here, and the metalloids in between the two. And we'll see other trends and other patterns like this in later videos. So thank you again.